Hey guys, what's up? This is the boy who had seven. Today we are going to be talking about Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps book number 38. I've got to give a shout out to my friend Tim. He's been telling me how much he loves Green Lantern. He really piqued my interest. I'll be honest, I was not following the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps storyline or the books that have come out since the rebirth, but I picked up book number 37 that we're going to be talking about a little bit today, and I picked up book number 38, and man, I am hooked. I'll tell you what, I've got to go get all the other 37 books that are out already. I literally am looking for them now so I can find out more about what's going on in this story. So what's so cool about comics, and you guys have heard me talk about it before, is that you have so many different characters and different ideas and different storylines sometimes mixing into one that you just want to go find out more and more and more. I mean, yeah, it's probably a money tool and a ploy for them to get more readers, but man, it works on suckers like me. I'll tell you what, in this book, we get to see people like Zod, General Zod. We get to see his family. He's got a wife and a child, a son in this book. We get to see the Eradicator. We get to see other Green Lanterns like Kyle Rayner and the Guardians. And I mean, there's just so much. We get to hear about some of the cool things that Hal has done in the Rebirth storyline that now I've got to go pick it all up. So, to go on from there, for those of you guys that are new to comic books and don't really know who Hal Jordan is or what the Green Lantern Corps is, let me tell you about them first. So the Green Lantern Corps is like an intergalactic military force. They're pretty much space cops. They go throughout the entire DC universe and they take care of it all. They make sure laws aren't being broken, people aren't being enslaved, planets aren't being, taken advantage of. They're fighting bad guys that are trying to kill people and stopping wars, and they're stopping supervillains from destroying the entire universe. I mean, there's so much cool lore that's involved with the Green Lantern Corps. They're governed by a group of immortals known as the Guardians, and these Guardians have pretty much cut the universe into different sections, and each section is assigned an agent who is a Green Lantern. And so these agents are chosen by a Green Lantern ring, and the ring chooses them because of different attributes that they have, like being able to overcome fear or their power, their willpower. And so Hal Jordan himself, he was a little boy that loved his dad, and he watched his dad crash in an airplane in front of him and die. And he was able to show that he was able to overcome fear and be courageous. He loved his dad. His dad was his best friend. He's his hero and looked up to him. And that's something that could crush a lot of people. But Hal Jordan didn't let it crush him. He actually ended up following his dad's footsteps, joining the Air Force, becoming one of the best pilots. And so he has this alien crash land on Earth in the Californian desert. And his name's Abin Sur. And he pretty much, as he's dying, he tells Hal, look, you are going to be the new Green Lantern. The ring has chosen you because you have the great ability to overcome fear and you have an awesome willpower. And so, what is really cool is that Hal Jordan is the first human ever to be chosen as a Green Lantern. And so he takes it, and he has now become the most beloved Green Lantern of all time. There's actually a Green Lantern before him known as Alan Scott. He came out in All-American Comics number 16, I believe it was, in 1940. My goodness, these characters are old. Hal Jordan was shown to the world in Showcase number 22, October of 1959. Since then, he's pretty much considered by most people the most amazing Green Lantern of all time. I mean, the guy has a will that is amazing. And so like these rings, they're able to, the bearer of the ring is able to create these constructs out of their imagination and out of their willpower. So say like, Darkseid is coming at Hal Jordan, he's going to punch him. If Hal Jordan decides with his ring and his imagination to create a shield, if his will is strong enough, when Darkseid punches that shield, it won't go through it. But if his will is weak or his mind isn't set or he's not concentrating, Darkseid will break right through that shield. And so, the Green Lanterns are able to fight based off of their concentration, their imagination, and their willpower. And so Hal Jordan, you come to find after reading comics about him and different stories that this dude has an amazing willpower. And that's what I want to show you today. We're going to jump into Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps book number 37 right away. So the first thing that we see is this page right here. I mean, check it out. The Green Lantern is on the floor, bleeding. He's crawling and there's blood coming out of his mouth. He's trying to get his ring to call for help, but something is stopping it. There's some type of error going on, or disruption of communications. And then the next thing that you hear is, you and your comrade were unwise to come here uninvited, Green Lantern. And then you turn the page, guys, and you see this. You see General Zod, flanked by his wife, his son, and the Eradicator. Holy cow, look at Hal Jordan lying there with blood coming out of his mouth, his uniform torn, he's got bruises and cuts all over his body. Look at Kyle Rayner behind him, stuffed in all these rocks that he probably was punched into and broke the ground up when his body hit it. I mean, this is awesome. Right away, I'm like, holy cow, what is going on? I can't wait to find out more. Here's one of those things that I told you, like, when did Zod get a wife? When did he get a child? There's so many stories that if you don't know him, you want to go back and find out. For instance, this guy to the left is the Eradicator. For those of you that don't know him, back in the days, the Eradicator was created by these alien race that didn't want their planet to come to an end. So they sent out this ship, and the ship was supposed to go and make communications with other life forms, other societies, and it was supposed to be able to kind of like save their society by learning about other people's societies and spreading their own knowledge about themselves. Well, the spaceship goes to Krypton, and it gets perverted by someone that lives there, and it pretty much gets changed to a ship that's going to protect the life of Krypton. And since Krypton is going to be destroyed later in the future, it takes off and it gets to Earth, and when it's on Earth, Superman finds it, and it ends up waking up and creating his Fortress of Solitude. I mean, there's so many cool stories about it, but long story short, the Eradicator thinks he's Superman at some point. When Superman dies because Doomsday killed him, he really believes he's Superman for a while. Then he finds out that he's not, and so he kind of changes again, and his whole purpose is to save the last surviving son of Krypton, which is Superman. But lately, what's happened is Superman is like, no, I'm not all about Krypton. Like, I love my planet and I want to take care of it, but you're doing it in such a gross, crazy way. The Eradicator pretty much like tries to kill everybody and just makes Superman live. He tries to change Earth into Krypton. He tries to do all this stuff which will harm the humans of Earth. And so he gets in a fight with Superman. He finds Zod, and he's like, Zod is exactly the guy that I need so that we can create Krypton again, and so I can destroy everybody else or anything else that is going to harm Krypton. And so that is where we're at right now. The Eradicator is helping Zod so that his programming, I guess you could say, can be fulfilled. So yeah, so we've got the Eradicator here in this first page, and it's stinking awesome. You pretty much see this battle ensue. Kyle Rayner, and who's another Green Lantern, when everybody died and all the Green Lanterns are destroyed, one of the Guardians goes to Kyle Rayner. He's an artist on Earth. You know, we really don't know why it chose Kyle Rayner other than the fact that he was the last guy available. He was in the right place at the right time. But Kyle Rayner has become an awesome Green Lantern since then. He's done some pretty amazing things, including becoming a White Lantern. There's so much cool stuff that you guys have to look into. You'll love it. But Kyle Rayner is here searching the universe with Hal Jordan. They got this distress call where these people are saying, hey, there's this planet. It looks like it's being extorted for its minerals. Go check it out. So they get to this planet. Everything's beautiful. So Kyle tells Hal, like, this planet's technology is supposed to be equivalent to our planet's technology during the Ice Age. So that's not saying much. And they look around, they see this huge construct, and all of a sudden they realize something is going on that shouldn't be. You know, Hal Jordan's like, what the heck is going on here? And then all of a sudden, this is, you know, General Zod saying, oh, let me explain. They turn around, and the Green Lantern's like, oh my gosh, Zod! And he uses his ring, he traps them in this construct, and, you know, Zod is sitting there like, you know, what are you doing? And Green Lantern's like, you're under arrest. And Zod's like, why am I under arrest? Like, you're visiting my planet. This is my home. Why are you here? And he's like, no, you're under arrest. I have you. And then he's like, it's funny you think I'm under arrest. And he just breaks out of this construct that Hal created. And then all of a sudden, you see Kyle get punched in the face by this woman, and this huge battle ensues. Look at these pages, guys. I mean, you got Hal Jordan going after Zod and the Eradicator, while Kyle Rayner is fighting his wife and his son. And they are just, I mean, Zod and his family are just beating the heck out of them. Look at how he like flies at Zod like in a missile, like in a jet plane, like going super fast. And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you so hard that you were gonna knock out. And when he goes to punch Zod, Zod literally catches his punch in his hand like it's nothing. I mean, these guys are getting handled. Poor Kyle, you know, Zod's wife is way more vicious than he is, and she is just pounding on him. Look at these pages. She's almost going to kill him, and Zod himself has to pretty much say, like, hey, woman, calm down. Like, stop what you're doing. We need these guys alive. And you pretty much see her just angry to stop. And, I mean, look at this last page of comic book number 37. I mean, look at Hal Jordan. Zod has picked him up by his hair. He's bleeding from his forehead, from his nose, I mean profusely, and Zod is about to punch his lights out. And that is where this comic book finishes, and that's where we get into number 38. Okay, this, I love this. This is so cool. So you have all this power, you have all this action, and now we're going to get all this heart in number 38. So the first thing that we see are Hal and Kyle. They're like inside this ball created from these minerals that they were worried were being extorted, and it's like a little jail cell, okay? And so they're in this jail cell, and they're beat up bad. I mean, Hal's like, hey, how are you feeling, man? Are you okay? And Kyle's like, oh man, even it hurts to even tell you how I'm feeling. Like, I'm really beat up really bad. So the next thing that we know is Hal looks at his finger and he's like, my ring's not here. And he tells Kyle, is your ring there? And his ring isn't there. And so, you know, he comes to realize that Zod isn't actually after them. He's after the Green Lantern rings. Meanwhile, the Eradicator has these Green Lantern rings inside this kind of future science computer thing, and it's blocking all the distress calls that the Green Lantern rings are trying to make to other Green Lanterns. And he's actually kind of studying it, and he's like 56% done studying this ring and trying to figure out what's happening. So it gives you this idea, like, is Zod trying to figure out how to recreate the ring or how to put it on and use it for himself? Like, imagine Superman and all his power with Hal Lantern's ring. I mean, oh my, Hal Jordan's ring, right? It's like, man, this is pretty creepy what's happening. So next thing that happens is Zod invites Hal to dinner. Kyle is so beat up he can't even move. He's bandaged up, and literally the bandages are holding his guts in. Like, he is broken, his bones, his skin, I mean, he is beat up bad, guys. It's like he's gonna die. Meanwhile, Hal goes to dinner. Zod's trying to talk to him, and Hal's like not having it. Zod's wife like hates Hal Jordan. His son, Zod's son, asks like, what is a Green Lantern? And the mom's like, you don't need to know, they're a bunch of losers. And then Zod's like, hey, if our son's gonna rule the universe one of these days, he needs to understand what universe he's ruling. And so Hal Jordan's like, yeah, we're the good guys and you guys are the bad guys. And so the wife gets really angry. She's like gonna go beat the heck out of Hal. And Zod's like, hey, calm down, just take him back to his cell. So Hal goes back to his cell, and while he's in there, he comes up with a plan. And so this is a part that I didn't know, and this is why I have to go back and read the Rebirth story. Hal pretty much says, hey, Kyle, we're going to get out of here. And Kyle's like, we need our rings. And he's like, you know what? What Zod doesn't know is that my ring is a part of me. I made my own ring out of my own willpower. And so that ring and I can't be separated. It's part of me. Now look at this picture here, guys. All of a sudden, he begins to quote the Green Lantern oath. Guys, this is an oath that when they would recharge their ring at the Green Lantern battery, they would say this oath. It's changed over time. There's been quite a few different ways of saying it, but this is the one that we have now. And he starts saying, he says, he doesn't know my ring is different from all the others. I forged it myself for my own will. You can't separate my ring from me. It is me. I feel it. It wants to return to me, but there's some kind of energy barrier stopping it. Well, about that, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might, and then you see the Eradicator, increased activity detected, analyzing, and then you see the ring, it starts moving, beware my power. Green Lantern's light, and look at this, guys, it breaks through this barrier, breaks right through the Eradicator's face and like blows up his face. Remember, he's a machine. He falls down on the ground. Intriguing. And the Green Lantern ring flies all the way to Hal Jordan. And look at him. The ring comes back and he's at full power again. And there is Kyle Rayner. You did that just to show off, didn't you? Nope. And he just starts blasting all these minerals away from them. And he pretty much picks up Kyle. He's like, hey, we've got to get out of here. And Kyle's like, I don't know if I can make it. And so they start flying and they go to they still think that these people are being extorted, and what they come to find out that these people actually worship Zod, and so they all try to start fighting them for Zod. And so Kyle is like, I can't go on anymore, I'm gonna die, just leave me here, go save yourself. And this is the part that I love, guys. Look at this, as Kyle is here like, you know what, save yourself. The Green Lantern's like, nope, I'm gonna save you. And he's like, he takes off his ring and he sticks it onto Kyle, and he tells Kyle, like, he tells the ring, put everything you've got into holding him together. And Kyle's like, what are you doing? And he's like, get Kyle home. And then you see the ring go onto Kyle, and Kyle's like, ah! And it starts like stitching his body back together with Hal Jordan's willpower. Guys, his bones are broken, his ribs are broken and moving within his body. He's cut open, his guts want to come out. And yet Hal uses his willpower and his ring to start putting his partner and his friend back together. He leaves himself exposed. He makes Kyle, he makes the ring turn into a rocket that just shoots Kyle all the way out into space, and it starts taking Kyle home to the Green Lantern headquarters. And so Kyle's like protesting the whole time, and all of a sudden Hal is just left all alone with Zod. I mean, check these pictures out. Look at Kyle blasting off, and he's like, Hal, don't. And Hal's like, enjoy your flight. And all of a sudden, Zod's like, uh-oh, we're going to have some company sooner than we expected. But he's not really scared. Like, that's how powerful Zod is. He's like the equivalent of Superman with zero morals. I mean, the guy's scary. And so the last thing that I love is Hal. Hal has always been known as somebody kind of with a potty mouth, someone that's like quick to say things, and he's just kind of, you know, quirky and funny the way he speaks. Well, look at this here. Finally, the locals come and they stick their spears in his face, and he's like, take me to your leader. And that is how, you know, we see Hal left on the planet. Kyle gets all the way to the Green Lantern Corps. They're like angry because they're like, why haven't you guys checked in? And all of a sudden they realize Hal's not there, but it's his ring and Kyle's wearing it. And Kyle's like, Hal needs our help. And that's how the comic book ends. Guys, wow, this comic was so awesome. I absolutely loved it. I'm telling you what, I skipped a lot because I'm hoping some of you will go out there and purchase it. Look it up. It's a book that's not selling like super high, so you'll still find copies in your local comic book shop, even though these are about a week or 2 weeks old. The next one comes out next week on Wednesday, so you can get more of the story. Go pick these up. Like, if you want to learn about Green Lantern, these are the ones to do it. The only qualm I have is that Kyle Rayner uses the Lord's name in vain. I don't like that. It makes me feel ugly every time I hear that. I'm not a supporter of it. But other than that, these two books are amazing, and I can't wait for the next one to find out what's happening. I guarantee you guys, I'm on eBay already looking for all the other ones. I've got to pick them up and read more about Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. I absolutely love it. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I got you excited about this book. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think about Hal Jordan. What are some of your most favorite comic stories about him or about the other Green Lanterns? Please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you for always tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later.